I created this beautiful painting behind me with my hair dryer. Keep watching to see how I did this. Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Soraya. Today I'm working on an acrylic fluid pour with enhancement or embellishment. It's one of my all-time favorites. I just love the way it turned out. I've got commentary throughout and close-up pictures, so keep watching. I usually start with the pour, but today I decided that I would start with the sky, so I've got my small sponge and I'm working on that. I had a really clear vision as to where I wanted this painting to go, and if you're starting this, I think that's important to do, so you should have at least some idea of how you want the painting to look. As you know, I love to blow the paint with my hair dryer, but in this case, I thought it was important to use this swipe technique for the look that I had in my mind. All these kind of small imperfections by going over and over adds character and depth and dimension to the area. That being said, you run the risk of muddying things up, so there's a fine balance there. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment that I feel that you feel that way too, is when I give my heart to you. Okay, so here it is from my side, and I'm loving the way it looks. The water is just beautiful, and I love the kind of two waves like that rushing up to this cliff. And I think this will be a waterfall. Already looks very much like one, but I do have to define that cliff from the water. It's too close in color. It almost looks like another big wave, and I don't want that. So I will be defining that once I start enhancing it. But wow, I've got a great base to work with. Look at that, all the cells and the lacing. It's beautiful. It's already very beautiful. So I can't wait for it to dry. Usually takes 2 to 3 days, and I will definitely let you know. It'll take you just 1 second, so keep watching. Okay, so here is the painting. It took 2 days to dry. So that seems to be the norm right now, about 2 days. And I do love it. I think I have a lot to work with. Look at those cliffs and that beautiful waterfall. And I'm going to be enhancing it now. And we'll see what happens. I started by adding some burnt sienna to the cliffs to differentiate it from the water. Even though I really loved this area, it does go through quite a few changes, but the painting called for it. It just had to get done. I'm adding the initial splash of the waterfall as well as along the waves. Can you hear the splash? This painting was really a joy to work on, and maybe that's why it's one of my all-time favorites. This section was quite a bit lighter than the other side, and so by adding these kind of splashes and waves, it really defines the area. I'm adding a bit of turquoise along the wave to give it more depth and interest. It's a simple thing to do, but sometimes just using your finger to kind of smudge the paint makes a really good effect. I'm working on a secondary focal point to enhance the main focal point, which are the waterfalls. And this kind of points you in that direction. I'm adding a bit of gray to tone down the blue. There's a lot of dark blue in that area, and it was too close to the water, so I added that gray to define it. When I have a color on my brush, I make sure to place that color in various sections of the painting. It brings it all together and makes a lot of sense. I'm starting to define the area above the cliff, a plateau area. I love the music that's playing. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. I'm adding more texture and swirls to that section to really emphasize the fact that there's a lot of water and a lot of splash coming down in that area. The addition of this turquoise along the horizon there was really a good move because it emphasized that section, it defined it, and then really tied it in with the colors that are in the painting itself. In addition, the turquoise against the burnt sienna is a really beautiful combination. I'm adding a bit of detail here, and the paint looks shiny because I added a touch of water because I wanted it to be translucent. By adding these details, it gives so much interest to the painting. The viewer doesn't necessarily pick up on it right away, but it makes for a wonderful effect overall. I think it's obvious that I like a lot of movement in my paintings, and I love the water for it to be splashing and moving in different directions as well. My paintings are available for sale. If you're interested, contact me via my email in the description area below. In areas where there is a solid color, like in this section, I think it's important to add some kind of detail. You don't want a big splotch of color. Often there's areas where I'm working on that are so beautiful and I don't want to cover them up, so I try and work around it and with it to enhance that area. I particularly love this section of the painting. The waves and the colors are, to me, really, really beautiful. I've edited the video down quite a bit, but it was hours and hours and hours of a lot of work over a couple of days. So I'm just giving you the highlights here. I always strive to enhance the painting to complement what's already there, so you can't really tell what I painted and what the original fluid pour was. I decided to outline the waves with a fine brush to further define them, and I think it worked out really well. It's another one of those details that perhaps doesn't get noticed right away, but it is very important to the painting. I'm adding a bit of burnt sienna here and there to the main part of the painting to give it depth, but also to tie in the colors of the cliffs. I decided that the sky also needed a little extra, so I started with some burnt sienna, and you'll see that adds a little bit more color later on. It's kind of scary to add that hit of orange when you first put it on the canvas, but you can definitely work around it and tone it down with the various other colors. I had added this cloud and then I changed my mind about it because I felt the sky should be much more calm. There's a lot happening in the painting, and so I didn't want a lot happening in the sky. The right side of the painting cliffs were definitely a lot lighter than you could see on the left, and so I'm starting to work here to make it more cohesive and bring the painting all together. Even though I really loved some of the sections there, it unfortunately needed to be covered up. I decided to emphasize that kind of secondary, smaller waterfall there, and I think that was a good idea. It kind of expanded that whole area. You can see here that I'm really working on getting rid of those lighter colors and adding a darker hue to that whole section. You can see here that I'm working on that plateau area, making it look more flat. At this point, you can see that the cliffs have darkened significantly and it's overall more cohesive. That raised section left by the swipe was very interesting, and because it was higher than the rest, I thought I'll just make it into a mountain. I had the same raised area on this side, the left side, as I did on the right, so I did the same thing. I transformed those into small mountains. I'm just adding the final finishing touches to the sky. I often step back from the painting and you can see an overall look to it that way. And this section stood out to me, so I am fixing that. Coming up after this clip is a video of all the paints that I used to enhance, and then an up-close video of the painting itself. I just wanted to quickly show you the colors that I used to enhance: titanium white, grayish blue, Liquitex burnt sienna, a tiny bit of natural gray, that's Liquitex, Pebio's Payne's Gray, Amsterdam's a sky blue light, and Liquitex vivid red orange. Okay, and here's the painting all done. I'm not sure if I told you, but it is a 36-inch by 36-inch canvas, and that's the size. It's 3 feet by 3 feet. I love the way it turned out. It's my very first waterfall. And I defined the cliff against the waves quite a bit. They changed because you could see that there was quite a few waterfalls here, and I really wanted this area to be the focus. I love the colors and the enhancement that I did all along everywhere. If you keep watching to the end, I do have images, up-close images of this painting, so you can take your time and really see how it looks. If you click on the link you see now, you can see a lot more of my enhanced pours. Check out my new Facebook group called Soraya Silvestri Artist, Amazing Abstracts and Pours. Promote your art. The link is in the description box below.